Let's move to hypothesis. We have heard of many hypotheses which have led to great invention in science. Assumptions that are made on the basis of some evidence are known as hypotheses. So basically, what is hypothesis? It is an assumption or an idea proposed for the sake of argument so that it can be tested. It is a precise testable statement of what the researchers predict will be outcome of the study. Hypothesis usually involves proposing a relationship between two variables. The independent variable, that is what the researchers change, and the dependent variable, what the research measures. So hypothesis is an assumption that is made based on some evidence. This is the initial point of any investigation that translates the research questions into predictions. It includes components like variable, population, relation between the variables. A research hypothesis is a hypothesis that is used to test relation between two or more variables. So in research, there is a convention that the hypothesis is written in two forms: the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis, that is called as experimental hypothesis when the method of investigation is an experiment. So basically, we'll understand following are the characteristics of hypothesis. We'll understand the characteristics that are involved. The hypothesis should be clear, precise to consider it to be reliable. If the hypothesis is a relation hypothesis, then it should be stating the relation between variables. The hypothesis must be specific and should have scope for conducting more tests. The way of explanation of the hypothesis must be very simple, and it should also be understood that the simplicity of the hypothesis is not related to its significance. How to formulate an effective research hypothesis? So, a testable hypothesis is not a simple statement. It is rather an intricate statement that needs to offer a clear introduction to a scientific experiment, its intention, and the possible outcomes. However, there are some important things to consider when building a compelling hypothesis. First is state the problem that you are trying to solve. That means make sure that a hypothesis clearly defines the topic and the focus of the experiment that you are proceeding ahead with. Next is try to write the hypothesis as an if-then statement. Follow this template. If a specific action is taken, then a certain outcome is expected. Then is define the variables. So independent variables are the ones that are manipulated, controlled, or changed. Independent variables are isolated from other factors of the study. Next is dependent variables. As the name suggests, are dependent on other factors of the study. They are influenced by the change in independent variables. So this is how you will formulate the effective hypothesis to further come up with the productive outcome.